This is a response to the video I released of sharks being unloaded in South Africa. And while that's not good, I want to show you this footage, which I shot earlier that same year in Cape Cod. And it's a vision that I never got out of my head. I had been out there to document the whole O-Search thing when O-Search was out there trying to catch sharks, and I stopped at Chatham Harbor to grab some food, and believe it or not, I was eating a seafood sandwich of some sort while this was happening in front of me, and of course almost lost my appetite. But what's my point? It's not like I didn't know that fish and sea life didn't have to be killed in order to eat seafood, but seeing the reality of it is a little bit different. But that's still really not the point. Point is that while I was there, I was hearing fishermen complaining about the recovery of the gray seal and about the seals that were being shot. And while I was watching all of these sharks being unloaded, there was a gray seal swimming around in the harbor, looking around, and I couldn't help but think that the expression on his face was, are you guys gonna leave anything for me? And he had fishing line wrapped around his throat. How do we decide what we're gonna be upset about and what we're gonna be okay with? Because those just happen to be the same species of shark being unloaded in South Africa as in Cape Cod. But because it's far away, a foreign land, a third world country, we can say, ooh, that's bad. But here's something far worse, far more graphic, but it's happening right here in good old USA. And that's not even a big boat. That was one boat. That was a horrifying amount of sharks coming off of one boat. I don't even want to know how long that boat was out there or how long it took to catch that many. Whatever the answer is, it was too many sharks. And this is before the next load, which was all skates and rays. How did they catch boatloads of skates and rays unless they were trawling the ocean floor or something else incredibly destructive? Well, the answer is we throw the word sustainable on it. We throw the word local on it. We say that it's important to the local economy. We say that it's important to jobs. We talk about how it is important to people making a living and keeping the community going. Everyone can use that excuse. Everyone can use that excuse. But we're playing a game. We're playing a game of justifying our behavior. We don't have to change. Those guys over there were bad, and don't eat fish caught by them. Don't support that industry, but the fish I eat are okay. Nothing was harmed in the process of catching the fish that I want to eat. There was no bycatch, there were no side consequences, there were no whales entangled, there were no whales struck by boats. There aren't any starving orcas because of what I want to eat, because conveniently it's the fish I want to eat. That can't be true for all of us. It just can't be true for all of us. So what gives? Someone isn't telling the truth. And you look at these statistics. You look at the amount of animals that are dying thanks to fishing gear. Forget the animals that are actually killed from fishing. What about the animals that are killed as a result of the fishing gear that's left behind? The animals that you didn't desire to kill. Well, you can play these games like studying a new type of crab trap to reduce whale entanglement, or you could stop eating crabs. Stop eating crab? Are you kidding me? I love crab. Well, we're starting to touch on the real picture, aren't we? We can play games with these studies about dropping long lines down to a certain depth, setting different types of bait, fishing at a different time of year, publishing studies about where animals are in their migratory path at a certain time of year and trying to get fishing fleets to care about that and try to adhere to the needs of animals that are trying to reproduce to keep up with the incredible amount of life that we are pulling out of the ocean. Or you can stop eating fish. There are so many distractions. There are so many different excuses that we are offered to say that we aren't the problem, to say that there is a different path to take other than actually sacrificing something. We can skip past all of that shit if we just stop eating those animals. Stop supporting that industry. Stop playing the game of, well, my fish didn't come from there. My crab didn't cause a whale entanglement. This, that, the other thing. There's one thing that does hold true. If you aren't eating any of it, you're not supporting it. That's the one thing that you can be sure of. If you aren't buying the product, you aren't supporting it. Everything else, you have to have a little bit of a leap of faith. And even if you do go and make sure that it was certifiably sustainable, as long as the most unsustainable animal on the planet gets to define what is sustainable, it's not going to be sustainable. I mean, take a look at some of these studies. These things are real. This is the type of ridiculous stuff that we're up against. And look at these images. This is upsetting. Just stop participating in it. Are we asking that much? Am I asking that much? If you truly care about the ocean, can you just stop for a little bit? It's not something that you need. You're not gonna die without it. It's something that you want. So what we're really saying is that you aren't willing to sacrifice something that you enjoy for the sake of the ocean. You aren't going to die. I haven't eaten fish in, I can't even remember. And I haven't eaten any animal products in 2.5 years. And if you think it's necessary to eat those things, then I guess this is a ghost talking to you on the video. I am living proof that you don't need it. You want it, you desire it, and you will look up studies that will allow you to continue to participate in the things that you already enjoy participating in because you don't want to give them up. But the bottom line is, and let's not say that it's indefinite. Let's just hypothetically say that if you gave up fish, crab, seafood for 2 years, 1 year, how about 1 year? Can you go 1 year without consuming it? If it would save the ocean? If there's any hesitation in your mind about what your answer is there, then you know what this planet is up against. How selfish is that we can't give up something that we don't even need for the sake of the planet and would rather play these games and pursue studies about different methods we can use to try and save animals. Anything except for actually not killing those animals. I know this isn't what anyone wants to hear. And once you acknowledge that, okay, sure, I don't have to eat the fish, I could give it up, but what about the people whose jobs depend on it? What about the economy? Hashtag jobs, hashtag economy, hashtag making a living. Money is more important than life. Money is more important than the environment. Look, I know change is hard, but if you can't adapt, if you can't adjust your life or your career to something that isn't based on killing, that isn't based on further damaging a planet that is in crisis. I mean, it was one thing to think about this 20 years ago when I was first witnessing the horrors of seafood and think, man, that's not good. We probably shouldn't do that. And now we're literally fucked. And we're still talking about, yeah, but you gotta make a living, gotta make a living. How about if you find a different way to make a living? And if you don't have the ability to make a living in a different career than one that destroys the planet, then maybe you don't have much to offer this planet. Fucking adapt, evolve.